So, welcome back to Onward with Scott Chesney. Today, I am joined by a very talented individual, the president and CEO of the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, Maggie Goldberg. Maggie, how are you today?
I'm well, Scott. Thank you. How are you?
Great, great. Thank you so much for joining us. We talk so much about preparation for Onward's technology and products and therapies. One of those preparations, obviously, is connecting with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. Can you tell us about the foundation, what you're doing for people with spinal cord injury, whether it be someone who's newly paralyzed or 3, 4 decades down the road, caregivers, their families, and everyone else in their lives?
Sure, absolutely. So our mission is really simple. Our tagline is today's care, tomorrow's cure. So we provide funding to find treatments and cures for spinal cord injury. But while we're doing that, we provide the hope, the inspiration, and the care for those living with paralysis, not just caused by spinal cord injury, but caused by any birth condition, disorder, neurological condition. So I oversee the National Paralysis Resource Center, and we are here to help individuals, caregivers, professional healthcare providers navigate paralysis. So what does that mean? That means if you are newly diagnosed, if you have been living with paralysis for 20, 30, 40 years, and you have any kind of question, challenge, we're here to help you face that. It could be something like, where do I go for the best rehab? How do I select a rehab? My child or my spouse is in a hospital right now in ICU, and we need to go to rehab, and then we need to deal with modifying our home. We'll help you with that process. We are able to help if navigate insurance issues. Someone might have an accessible van that's 15 years old and it's broken beyond repair and they can't afford a new one. What services are available in their area? So we can look up some state services and help them with that. What's the latest in research? We can point you in the right direction. Where do I look for a clinical trial? Just about anything and everything that covers paralysis. We have a 400-page paralysis resource guide. We have tons of booklets and brochures. We even have Nurse Linda, who's available. She's online all the time, that hosts monthly webinars to answer your questions about everything from bowel, bladder, skincare, to relationships, sexual questions. And we even have someone that helps with transitioning to college. So if someone was injured maybe in high school and wants to apply to college, but needs help, or was in school and faces a paralysis diagnosis and wants to return.
So, Maggie, tell us about the peer support program that's ongoing at the Reeve Foundation that benefits a lot of people.
So in addition to our information specialists, we have a peer and family support program that's national in scope. So we have over 400 trained, certified peer mentors that are available free of charge to help others who might be facing challenges living with paralysis. So it could be something as simple as, I'm living with paralysis and I have recurring urinary tract infections. I just want to talk to someone who's been through it, and they want to be matched with someone at the same level, same gender, same age. Or we've had somebody who is newly paralyzed and is having problems integrating back into society, and they want a local peer who actually has helped them go to the mall again or go to a baseball game. But we match the person based on what they want. Do they want someone who's, like I said, the same age? We also have caregivers, spouses. It's really driven by the person making the request, because we really believe that those who've been through it offer the best advice and assistance.
Now, Maggie, paralysis is very close to you based on your own personal experiences. Can you tell us about that story that brought you even closer to the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I was a passenger in a car accident. A friend of mine was driving and just, made a left-hand turn a little too soon, and the car was speeding the other car and hit us. And the way I was thrown, I broke my neck in 2 places at the C2 vertebrae. And I knew at the time that I was very lucky, despite having to wear, being hospitalized for 8 days and halo braces and a series of braces for 6 months. Although I didn't have neurological damage, it was, physical therapy and a series of setbacks. And I came to learn later on what C2 meant. I didn't know at the time that your C2 affected your breathing, and essentially it's the same level that Christopher Reeve was injured. So I would have been completely paralyzed from the shoulders down, and probably also had to use a ventilator. So this was prior to Christopher Reeve's injury. When Christopher Reeve was injured, it was sort of like an aha moment for me that, okay, now I get it. Now I realize how lucky I was. And it sort of, Christopher Reeve used to say the cause found me, and I kind of felt the same way. Like I always knew I wanted to do something advocacy related. And I was lucky enough to start my career here as a consultant way back in the late 90s, and moved to New Jersey to take on the role as head of communications, marketing, and advocacy, and I've worked my way up ever since. So it's been a real honor, a real passion, and I take this role extremely seriously to honor the community that we serve.
As a person with paralysis and the millions worldwide, we thank you because of that close connection you have with paralysis, but what you continue to do for people with paralysis each and every day. So thank you. Let's move on to this partnership with Onward that has been created. Why Onward? And tell us a little bit about the partnership, please.
The partnership with Onward is to drive breakthrough technologies out of the academic setting and into the clinic. That's as simple. We really want to help benefit people living with spinal cord injury in their quality of life. And that's the ultimate goal. And so we've invested 40 years of research, $140 million, and we are so excited by what Onward's doing and the promise. And it's not just one experiment. They've got a lot in the pipeline, and I think that what they're doing and the way it's being translated into patients is extremely promising. And it's promising because there's a path to get to the FDA, and there's a path to get approval, so that insurance will cover this sooner rather than later.
Now, you wrote a story about the importance of nonprofits teaming up with for-profit organizations. Tell us a little bit about that article and why you think more people, more companies, and nonprofits need to be teaming up in this manner.
Well, I think it's really important that companies hear from patients or consumers, as we call them, directly. They need to understand, particularly when it comes to paralysis, because that's our area of expertise, of course, what will help them function within the community. Is it, in our instance, is it relieving pain? Is it walking? Is walking the ultimate goal? Or is it bowel, bladder, sexual control? Is it temperature? Is it blood pressure regulation? What is the point of investing millions and millions of dollars and time and years if it's not going to ultimately benefit the community that we serve? And by forming these partnerships and providing access to community members, that's the partnership that we envision. We also envision a partnership where not only we're providing funding, but we're helping with the business acumen. We want scientists to be able to do what they do best, at the bench, in the clinic. Go run with that. Let us help you with whatever the business mind and the business expertise that we can to get you to the next level. And that's what we talk about when we talk about a partnership. As a result, we can provide access to tens of thousands of like-minded organizations and patients and, the paralysis community, if you will, because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing.
Now, as one of our partners, you absolutely had to have heard the great news that we released yesterday with our STEAMO Bridge study with NeuroRestore that's actually looking at the function of the stimulator there at the lower limb function, as well as the trunk movement that we're able to hopefully restore. Tell us what your reaction is to those fantastic results that we've generated so far.
It's really promising. I understand that it's in 3 patients, and they're not quite in the community yet, but it is extremely exciting. I think the more we learn, the precision of the placement is so important. We're thrilled. We're so excited, and I think the fact that they're focused on getting these again to the market faster, getting into the community, It's just helping us invest in a broad spectrum of discoveries that we consider treatments. I thought it was really interesting when Gregoire was interviewed and he said specifically, this isn't a cure, it's a treatment. And we've changed our language around that. We fund treatments and cures. Ultimately, whatever it takes to restore function is our goal. So we're really honored to be partners with Onward, and we were thrilled to read the publication and see all the news coverage.
Well, we're very excited about this partnership as well. And again, preparing for Onward's technology is huge. It's something that each and every person with a spinal cord injury needs to be thinking about, needs to actually put into play and action. What's the best way for people to reach out to the Reeve Foundation, to connect with you, to get on ongoing information on a consistent basis, so that could be part of their routine, part of their rituals that they create to prepare themselves?
Well, there's plenty of ways. You can visit our website, which is christopherreeve.org. You can sign up for our newsletter on the website. You can follow us on social media. We're at Reeve Foundation on Facebook, at Reeve Foundation on Twitter. We're on Instagram. You can become an advocate and you can share your voice with those who represent you in Congress in Washington, D.C. There are many, many ways to get involved. You can join Team Reeve. So please do. I think the best way to hear from us directly is to our newsletter. We won't bombard you with email spam, I promise. I'd also like to say, Scott, one last thing, because I think this is really interesting and I'm quite proud of it. Someone recently said to me that in the 21st century, you can call us and you can actually get an information specialist on the phone. You'll get their name, they'll assist you, they'll help you navigate your questions. Hopefully we'll answer your questions in a timely manner. And then, you might have more and you can call back and talk to that same person, get their name again. And we do provide that one-on-one assistance. And I take it for granted, but that is a service that we provide. It's free of charge. And I do hope that your viewers will take advantage of that too.
Well, Maggie, that's wonderful, because one of those feelings, as you well know and have heard countless times, is that I feel like I'm all alone with paralysis and nobody understands and nobody can relate.
Right.
But
Right.
if there is an organization that can relate and does everything in their power to engage people so they feel like they're not alone, it's the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. So Maggie, this is just the beginning. I know, again, it's our partnership, but we're going to be talking to you much more and learning more about your developments, because things are constantly changing and evolving over there. And obviously we'll keep you updated on our progress over here as we move forward. So thank you so much, Maggie.
Thanks for having me, Scott. It's great to see you.
Great to see you.
Take care.